the Sunset Theater. It was opened in January 20th, 1950. It's at its time, it was like one of the best movie theaters in California. State of the art. It seated 1,000 people. Cost $150,000 to build it. Truly understand the theater, you got to dig a little bit into the history, and it's really quite interesting. Okay, so in 1945, after World War II, Lodi's population started to grow, and people were moving into like new neighborhoods. And downtown Lodi couldn't really accommodate everybody. They didn't have enough parking. So shopping centers started to spring up, and businesses were moving into these shopping centers because they were closer to the neighborhoods and the people, and they had big parking lots. So at that time, there's only two movie theaters that were located downtown Lodi. The Lodi Theater and the Tokay Theater, which later became the State Theater, and they were both owned by T&D Enterprise. And because they noticed that businesses were kind of moving to these shopping centers closer to the neighborhood, T&D Enterprise had the brilliant idea of building a movie theater closer to the people in these neighborhoods. So construction for the Sunset Theater started in November 1st, 1948 in the parking lot of one of these shopping centers, which was called Sunset Market. The plan was to have it be the best movie theater in the area. You know, it had 1,000 seats, all with good views. They had modern curtains. You know, I don't know what that means. Maybe they, were better made. I don't know. Acoustic plaster for better sound. They had a projection room with the E7 Simplex equipment. I don't know what that means, but it's probably like amazing. High intensity lamps, and it all costs around $150,000, which is pretty cheap if you think about it, because an average home nowadays is like $200,000. So for them to get a theater, state-of-the-art theater for this price, it's a very good deal, So the grand opening was January 20th, 1950, and they ran a big ad letting everybody know that it was going to be open. Doors open at 6:15. There was like 2,000 people, and the first movie that they showed was Sand of Iwo Jima. Sand of Iwo. So the first movie they showed was Sand of Iwo Jima, and because of the movie, they had like a military flair to it. They brought a amphibious military vehicle. They had the Marine Corps color guard start off the function with the flag presentation. Lodi High did a thing. The mayor did a ribbon cutting and gave a speech probably. And the doors opened up at 7 p.m. Oh, also a business inside called Spud Nuts also opened on the same day, and they offered free coffee and Spud Nuts from 2 to 4. Now, if you don't know what Spud Nuts are, they're kind of like a dried potato. That's what it said. So finally, the movie started at 7 p.m. And it was good. It was good. It was a good theater. Everybody loved it. So for a decade, we had 3 movie theaters: the Lodi Theater, the State Theater, and the Sunset Theater. And the Sunset Theater and the Lodi Theater played new movies, and then the State Theater played old movies, westerns, and like foreign films, And then in the early 60s, things changed downtown, and the State Theater, babe, is that a bee?
No. There's nothing by you.
Oh man.
It's okay.
I'm scared. So in the early 60s, Lodi started to change, right? The downtown Lodi started to change, kind of like right now. And they closed down the State Theater and they turned it into a dancing hall in 61. And in 62, Lodi Theater burnt down and they just demolished it, never built it again. And yeah, it was something that was there for like 54 years. Then in 98, you know, Sunset Theater closed, and that was that. The owner, unfortunately, you know, didn't make a few mortgage payments, and you know, they closed it. In doing this research about Sunset Theater, I realized how much history there was behind it. There's bees over there. How much history there was behind it. Really, in my mind, it doesn't go past the 90s, right? Like, I remember watching Batman there. The Lion King I watched there. I don't know, like, it just held a lot of memories. And in doing all this research, I kind of like discovered, you know, that it goes deeper than that. It went to the 50s. They opened it up in the 50s. 3 years after Sunset Theater closed is when we got Stadium 12, and the rest is history, right? We know we're Stadium 12 in. They did that awesome decision. They made that awesome decision of getting those lazy boy recliner things in there and serving some alcohol. So good job, Stadium 12. Hopefully when you drive down Lodi Avenue and you see that old beaten down building, you know, that maybe some of the history that I talked about in this video, maybe some of that will enrich that memory, that nostalgia you have about that it goes beyond that. And that's it. So hopefully you guys like this information. I found it very interesting, and it was pretty cool. Thank you guys for watching. As you can hear, my baby's freaking out. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for giving me your time. And you know, make sure to show some support and like and follow, typical stuff. And I'll see you next time.